Today's video is going to be on burnout. Someone asked me about it the other day. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an intro into how I got there. Anything about sort of the story, I guess, throughout, the negative experiences that I've had, the changes that I've now made and how I am now. So as a quick recap, how I got it is basically I worked for too long and for too hard and burnt the candle at both ends. So let's just say it's probably about 11 years that I've worked almost every day. I've abused things like alcohol, can't even spell again, alcohol, drugs, cigs, coffee, and I've abused sleep, which is probably the most defining factor out of everything. I've abused my sleep the whole time because once you layer in just working and working and working, what you end up doing is I was probably operating for the past from early 20s to late 20s on, I would average probably less than 6 hours sleep. When I look at my sleep tracker on my phone, most of the time it's between 4 and 6. So let's play fair. Let's just say 5 hours is the standard. So realistically, what I've done is I've lost 3 hours per night, most nights for a long time. Obviously, when you're hungover, you get a little bit of that time back, but it's a bad state for recovery. And let's just do some quick maths. Even if it was 1 hour, I'm sure the results are going to be fucking pretty heavy. So let's just say, I'll make it easy, 10 years. So that's going to be times 365 days times, and take this with a pinch of salt. I pretty much work every day. I'm not fucking bullshitting you. Like for a long time, I've worked every day, multiple jobs and fucking hustled because I believe that when you're fucking trying to make it in this world, the hardest part is like a rocket is getting off the ground because of all the gravity. But once you're out of the atmosphere, you're good and you can float around. And this is why I've been for, this is where you end up when you're in sales, is because you're not trading your time for money. You're getting paid on how good you are, then it gives you more free time. So 10 years, 365, and then let's say minus 3 hours sleep. So you times that by 3, and that's the amount of sleep that I've arguably lost. So 10 times 365 is 3,650 days. And then because I've missed that many hours of sleep, times 3. So let's just say 10,950 hours that I've missed. So what happened is October 2023, I moved into my parents' house for a month just before I came to Bali, just to like get my affairs in order, get my shit together, see what was there that I needed to take with me. And I found myself, because I was then working for myself with Coco Social, I didn't have to be anywhere and I didn't have to fucking turn up on time. I didn't have a boss telling me what to do. So when you get that, instantly my body was like a little bit of relaxation. I just got paid like some decent money from some clients. So I was like, what do I do? And I found myself just fucking in bed. And my parents were like, what the fuck are you doing? You're being so lazy. Like, get out of the fucking bed. Like, you gotta fucking work. Like, their ethos is work, 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 work. And they've worked every day for like 25 years that I've seen. So, it was instilled in me to fucking work hard and work non-stop. But I would imagine that this is also known as sleep debt. What happens when you have this level of sleep debt? What we can do is we can work it out into how many days that I've potentially lost. So 10,950 hours divided by 24. So that's 10,950 divided by 24 hours in a day, 456 and change days. So if that's many days divided by 365 is 1.25 years. So in the last 10 years, essentially I've gained an extra year because I haven't been sleeping. But what's happened is that I've basically abused a year. So everyone knows the, theory, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So let me ask you, if I was to fucking take away this year of my life via working and not sleeping when I should have been sleeping, it needs to come back in whichever form it needs to be. So the way I was experiencing burnout was I was literally maybe 1 or 2 days in bed, the back of my head, where I think it's the vagus nerve was so inflamed that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get up, I couldn't run, I couldn't walk. And if you imagine a car's like, is it an odometer? So you got a car's odometer like this, 10 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour. What you'll find is the rev counter next door. The rev counter has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, typically. These are the red zone, and this is before when you want to be changing gear. I felt like I was constantly in the red zone. And if you hear a car or a bike and it's not changing gear, what will happen is like, and when you change gear, this then resets and it goes back then and you can run it back up. But I wasn't changing gear. I was just going all in, all in, all in, all in, all in. So I would get this crazy inflammation in the back of my head and it would put me out for a couple of days. What I needed to do then, I wasn't watching TV, I wasn't fucking on my phone. I was literally asleep for like 1, sometimes 3 days in a row, just burnt out. And what I was finding is after, let's just say, we're going to keep it conservative and say 1 day in bed per year, 1 bed per week, sorry. So again, when we look at the recovery, let's just say I'm spending, I want to be fairly like conservative with it, but let's just say 1 day in bed per week. Let's just average that that's going to be definitely more than half a day. but for the purpose of the exercise, let's just say 24 hours. So if I've already not wasted, but I've already abused 1.25 years or 456 days, then this needs to make it back. Doesn't help that there's extra stress going on of building businesses and fucking running out of money and blah, 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 blah. Lots of shit going on, especially as like a young man, you got a lot of pressure, a lot of shit to fucking perform with. So 1 day in bed per week. It was October 2023. And 2 months have passed. So what are we in? July, January, February, March, April, May. So let's say it stopped May 2025. So realistically, that's going to be almost 2 years. It's going to be 1 year, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. What's that? 7 years. 1 year, 7 months. Total burnout. So you can already see the sort of correlation between it. I would estimate that these 1 day in bed per week, and this is like a small, very conservative element, because some days it was 2, some days it was 3, but let's just keep that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy back this time via sleep. I just thought it was called sleep debt. I just thought it was like chronic fatigue. And these are all things that I think are, leading up to the burnout, but 1 year and 7 months. So essentially I've paid back this debt now. Obviously debt needs interest. So when you see that is 1 year, 7 months from 1.25 years, it's like, I'll still be paying this off for a while. And luckily I feel like I'm out of the fucking hole now. But even if we just have a look at 1 day in bed per week, let's just say it was 2, because like I said, a lot of them were 2. So do 2 days in bed per week. Let's just double this. So it's 2 years, 14 months. So that's 3 years and 2 months. So that's the real debt. And then I actually got closed on this on a nervous system course, which I'll talk about in a minute. But like, that is a lot of time. That is a lot of energy. Essentially, if you want to break it down, the average wage in the UK is like 30k. So if you want to break it into numbers, I essentially lost 90k on the average wage in the UK from not being able to form, not being able to fucking pull my finger out and get shit what I needed to be done. This doesn't even equate for the time spent like fried when I wasn't in bed, trying to do like different recovery things, trying to fucking sort myself out. So that's really how it happened. And like, I might as well just go into it. So I don't want to dwell on this for too long, so I know my videos are typically quite long. So that's how it happened. Basically overworking, abusing all of these things, and then really just not looking after my sleep. That's the how. The story throughout the negative, 90 grand, felt like I wasn't ever present, felt like I couldn't really do anything. And that was the negatives because, a lot of money. Obviously a bit of 6-figure business with fucking burnout, shit can still get done. I fucking built multiple businesses, worked for multiple people, sold fucking tons of deals, but I was burning out. And this is how the changes I made. So the changes I made initially is I just went and get some fucking help. I was always researching what do I need to do. I was on ChatGPT. I've got a thing with ChatGPT, like about my burnout, giving me all these things I need to do. But like really the things like meditation, walks, breath work, hot and cold therapy, massage, good sleep, quiet time, maybe reading a book. So these are the things it was telling me to do. Did I do them? A little bit. Did they help? Yeah, a little bit. But this is the thing. It's like, for me, until you make something real, it never fucking changes. So I, throughout a fairly fun series of events, I ended up working with this guy, and the initial program was 3k. And he did the same exact thing. He worked out how much money I basically had lost in the time that I was burnt out. And he said, okay, cool. So really 3k is nothing to fucking have this back and then some and then more, because it compounds, right? So I invested. These things were covered, breath work, walks, going into my former self. But the biggest change was realizing that my parents, essentially their attitude to money, their attitude to work, and their attitude to life, maybe it worked for them, but they aren't the people that I want to be, and they're not living the life that I want. So why would I operate like them? And what I was doing is I was like sort of living in like a fear and scarcity mindset that meant that I was just go, 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 go all the time, all the time, all the time. Because it was like, if I don't work, I won't make money. If I don't make money, I die. Very fucking reptilian, very basic. So the changes were essentially 1, making it real, spending the fucking money. 2, fucking slowing down. 3, working out what was high leverage. So for me, the certain things that I like are walks. I don't meditate as much as I used to, but I still do. So meds, podcasts, and I've gone full in on the walks, like barefoot walks has to be done. I eat better. I prioritize my sleep. High leverage is now sleep, content, and other things. But really, I feel like these are the things that you need to be doing if you're in this phase. You don't necessarily have to pay for help. You have to take it seriously. If you're in a point where you don't have the money to fucking do it, then it's like, you need to think solely high leverage. What's going to help me make the money I need so that I can then take my foot off the gas for a minute? What I would like to have is a reading week where where I take a week off work and I just go read, or I go do sports, or I go do this sort of thing. So for me, they were the changes that I've made. I made a commitment. I addressed like my personal issues with maybe my parents and how they worked and how they brought me up to work, and you know, it's not an issue, but it's just something that I noticed was a recurring theme. And even now I still have it. Like, you see me work and I work all fucking day and all fucking night. I'm getting better with it, but like recently I'm like, if I'm doing all this content and all this shit, it's like I want to work. I feel good about working. I fucking enjoy it. But then sometimes I'll slack on the gym or slack on doing fun stuff. So for me, it really just comes down to balance, which I've never been very good at. But at the moment, the scales are fairly even. But I have the unique opportunity where the juice is becoming worth the squeeze. The resilience that I have and have built is becoming a fucking major player in my life. So now it's like, what do? If I go a little bit heavy one day and it tips the scales, I go straight to the fucking either massage, because again, sleep is recovery, so is massage. I go straight for the hot and cold and I get an early night. My body doesn't need to be fucking training ridiculously hard all the time. I've done that. I've lifted fucking weights for a long time. I've lifted heavy for a long time. I've squatted fucking more than you can ever fucking shake a stick at. So for me, at the moment, it really doesn't make a fucking dent, because I'm just fucking smashing it and I can handle it. Because it's maintenance mode, I'm not exactly growing, but my focus is growing my business and growing my brain, not growing my physique right now. I could do with it, but it's not my priority. Remember, the main thing is priority. So my number one priority is my brain. B-R-A-I-N. I'm fucking bad at spelling sometimes. I thought that was wrong. So brain is number one. Number two, probably right now, is probably business. And number three, fitness. So that's my phone alarm. I have an alarm for when I should post content, so it keeps you accountable. Brain, business, fitness. So you need to make sure what your priorities are and then get them in order and then do it. A lot of it comes down to purpose as well. Some people don't know what their purpose is. I feel like I've actually defined my purpose. So now that I have it, again, it relaxes my brain and it makes me more fucking, peaceful. Also, succumbing to like the journey is going to be fucking already sort of mapped out and I'm just there to walk it. It's also a nice feeling. So I'm not like stressed and I'm not rushing. I'm not feeling like, what am I doing? Who am I? All this bullshit. I'm just enjoying it and I'm just fucking having it. Not taking shit too seriously and not being too much of a fucking Nazi with it, to be honest. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. And right now, how I'm feeling is honestly great. The business is fucking doing really well. I'm getting a lot of, obviously, the vanity metrics of followers, likes, and comments and all that sort of stuff is nice. Like, people fucking demonize it, but really that's why I'm here. That's why other people are here. They're here to fucking educate, they're there to entertain, and they're there to inspire. If you're ticking all of those three, you're good. If you're making money as well, you're even better. If you're having fun, perfect. If you have the money to go for a massage when you want, to go fucking to a recovery center and hit a sauna and an ice bath, perfect. But if you're not, then really it's like you got to start doing stuff that's high leverage. So to work out what's high leverage is like basically look at your business and look what makes the most money. If you're in sales and you're not closing, then learn how to close better, become a better objection handler, do a better discovery, invest in your brain, invest in your education, and make shit real. So for me, I don't want to dabble too long on these, but as a whole, I know a lot of people are going through it. It's a fucking challenging time. I myself went through it, like I said, for a year and 7 months, and I ended up paying close to, a year and a quarter, so a year and 4 months, and I ended up paying more or less just over double that in interest. So when you come down to it, if you're gonna fucking burn the candle at both ends, be smart about it. Don't do it for too long. Don't abuse coffee, don't abuse fucking alcohol, don't abuse drugs, don't abuse your sleep, because these things are only gonna fucking count. If you spend 100 grand of someone else's money, if you get 100 grand from a loan shark, they're gonna charge you a lot of fucking interest. It might even be 100%, and I think sleep is the same. So for me, sleep is the cousin of death, but I need it to fucking make my life better, because without it, I'm basically useless. And if I'm useless, then how can I fucking help educate, help inspire, help entertain people if none of it is what I'm able to do because I'm fucking in bed? So yeah, that's a roundabout story of fucking what I do, how it's been, what I've gained from it, what I've lost from it. And I think it's one of those things that realistically, if you look at the entrepreneur's journey, it's probably part and parcel. Like, it's just gonna happen. So don't deep it too much. If you're feeling fucking burnt out, if you're feeling fried, it's like, try and slow down for a minute. Don't fucking work into the early hours of the morning. Fucking get to bed at 11. Wake up and go again. Like, just make sure you're getting the 7 or 8 hours in that you fucking need, because if you don't, you're just gonna be fucked. And then once you're fucked, you can't do anything more. So I know that everyone wants to just go, but there's peace in slowing down, and you're more present with people, you feel more alive, and you can have better conversations. So that's what I would say. And if you're still here, then thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the burnout narrative. Call me Burnout Boy. And yeah, you know the deal. Drop a comment, drop a like, share it to someone who's currently fucking got burnout, and subscribe. Thank you very much from the Wolf of Southeast Asia.